What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have the Rogue deck, Tearlaments, going up against Traptrix, a deck that I have not seen in quite a while. They have on the die roll, which is going to be the huge advantage for them. They do have some good cards this format, but I don't think it's going to be enough to kind of like put yourself on the board here. We are going to be seeing the Traptrix going to start off with a normal summon of Deputica, allowing us to get up into the field spell. Then we're going to go up into a Sarah there. After we activate that field spell, giving us an additional normal summon this turn as well, which is important to note. Now they do have a bunch of good, spells and traps to deal with like certain stuff like Rigel and Malice for that, be able to banish stuff face down. We are going to be seeing the Remelo being normal summon, activating the effect, allowing us to search for a Gravedigger trap hole. That's going to now let the Sarah set the Holotea here, and this is one of the good cards that we were mentioning earlier. Like the Gravedigger's trap hole can be absolutely incredible versus the Feasmith package. We're going to see the Holotea going to send that copy of the Gravedigger's trap hole to the graveyard here, summon itself out, and that's going to allow the Sarah to summon out the Diana from the deck, which is going to reset that copy of Gravedigger's trap hole, giving us an additional body on the field here. Now we are thinking of what we're going to overlay up into that Rafflesia. Then we could summon out the Arachnocampa, and then we can go up into another XYZ for that Pingula here, and then we are going to be able to activate the effect, allowing us to detach that Holotea. I'm going to search for a Mantis from the deck. Okay. And then we are going to take a second to read that, or we're not going to take a second to read that Mantis, but we just want to know what's in the hand. If we take a second to read that field spell, they're going to pass turn on this, but only that Gravedigger set. Now they also, of course, have the Sarah alongside the Rafflesia, which can be triggered at any point, but it's still going to be pretty hard for Tyr to kind of beat this Sarah, especially if we want to use those fusion effects. We're going to see a Tearlaments field spell going to be activated here, which will be met quickly with an Ash Blossom, making it so we do not add anything else to the hand here. Then take a second to read that Rafflesia. Hopefully we do play multiple copies of Gravedigger, perhaps. That would be able to cut out multiple of those fusion effects and giving us that heavy advantage. They do take a second to read the Pingula as well here. And we'll essentially see a Talent's Take. It looks like that was in the hand there, which we are going to be seeing. Most likely taking the Rafflesia there, being one of the better cards. We won't be able to use it, but it won't be able to be used against us, which is the most important part. And if we play a Zeus, it could also come up as well. We're then going to see the Engraver going to be activating, and this is most likely going to be met with that Gravedigger's trap hole. I'm wanting to make sure that we do not get the tract going on, or having the second Lurie in the graveyard, making sure that we just don't get any more Light Fiends. Now, we don't know exactly what we are playing other than like a tier card and an Engraver at this point. I feel like you absolutely have to hit that Gravedigger's trap hole on the Engraver, making sure that multiple copies of Light Fiends will get in the graveyard, and just praying that they don't have ways to send it out with some of the mill cards as well. So we're going to be seeing that Gravedigger's been activated, making them pay 2,000. And they are left down to 3 cards in the hand, I believe. And they're going to activate a left arm offering, getting rid of 2 of the cards, one being a Hallow, and I don't exactly know the other one is there. Maybe a Tier Kashtira. We're going to search for a Grass is Greener. Now we're going to be milling some cards here because they are different in the deck. I believe we're playing a 60 card build. They do take a second to ask how many cards are in the deck. And now we have you see Ash Blossom, unfortunately, so we can't even ash that Grass, which has been crazy. We're going to see now the Grass can activate, and we do mill 15, 16, 17, 20 cards. So we're going to be milling almost half of our entire deck. Or I guess a third of our deck here in this case. And we have lots of cards that we can activate. We see a Medora being in the graveyard. We see a Turtle. We see a Shayama. We see Havness as well as Rhinoheart. Now we don't have Rhinoheart, can't activate the effects to summon itself out. But we have the Havness alongside Scream Beast. And we did put that Lacrimosa in the graveyard as well. That definitely is going to be very nice cards that we end up milling. Obviously, when you're milling 20 cards, you're going to hit a bunch of good ones. But we're going to be seeing the Draw 1, Havness, as well as a Scream going to activate. And we are going to be able to take that tier monster with the Pingula, which is going to be very useful for us because we can now no longer fuse. And then we get to search for the trap as well as draw that 1 card with the Beast. And it does cut off quite a bit of stuff there. I wonder if they should have maybe chained the Shuffler to maybe put it back so then we pop with the field spell, but We also see a Mali in the graveyard as well there. We're going to be banishing here the Medora to put back the Lacrima and then the rest of them to summon itself out. And then we're going to be banishing the Trap to be able to search our deck for the Turtle alongside the Horus Field Spell here, which can then make the Imsteady that we end up milling be able to bring itself back out, which is important. Or we could even potentially get an Imsteady off the effect there. So all very important to kind of activate. Now we are looking at the graveyard, making sure that we do have that Chayama still. Now, yeah, Turtle gets back to add to the hand set with the fusion, the spell here. I should say not the fusion spell. But we have not touched a fusion yet, which is kind of crazy. Now, we do also have the Mali in the graveyard, which can bring out another Mali from the deck. So we have numerous bodies on the field. We're going to be seeing the Horus spell gun activating, allowing us to search for that Imsteady and sending to the graveyard or putting back to the deck, I believe. Yeah, one other card. And then we are going to activate the Imsteady, sending a trap card. Then you search for the King Sark here. And then we're going to be additionally drawing a card as well. Now we're going to banish the Mali to summon out another Mali. Now we have lots of stuff that we can do, like we're going to go Engraver, putting back the summon. Now we do have, I think Mali's a fiend. But we're going to link away for Requiem. Requiem can then go up into the Lacrima, and then Lacrima can then dump. We're dumping another Engraver here. Then we're going to be linking 2 away. For a sequence. Then we can activate the effect putting back, and now our first fusion is not going to be a Fiendsmith one, which is absolutely just crazy here. We're going to go for the Holatea being able to bring back out the Pudica, and then we're going to be banishing that sequence, making sure that we can not activate the effect to fusion summon here. We did see them look in their graveyard. It actually is pretty nice that we see Traptrix having a lot of answers for these cards. We're going to see the second Mali going to be banished itself, summoning another body. But what are we going to be able to do with this? We're looking at Zombie Vampire. Now, Zombie Vampire will make this stuff level 8. We do see the Happy being summoned, so we have Happy and the Imsteady there. And then we are going to overlay up into the Zombie Vampire because we can treat a monster we steal from our opponent as a level 8. And then we are going to activate it, sending the Happy to the graveyard, allowing us to both mill from our deck. We hit the Lurie and then 2 Salvations. And I don't think we hit anything good on the side of the Traptrix. I don't think there's anything good that we want to hit either. I'm just getting rid of cards, so obviously pretty nice. But we can summon one out there. Perhaps wanting to summon the Lurie, but I don't really think it matters. We do have lots of cards left in the hand, as well as Imsteady being able to bring back out. It's actually crazy how much gas that we have still left, especially with Shyama being able to pop like the random like Lurie Fiend on the field to get like a bigger body. But we're going to see him go into a Princess, and then we're going to be able to go up into the Pilgrim Reaper here, and then Pilgrim Reaper will activate the effects, allowing us to mill more cards from our deck. We just see the Fiendsmith Trap hit the graveyard, and more importantly, we get to see our opponent's card as well. And we do finally hit another tier monster, so we are going to be able to finally fuse, and we can fuse with the Rhino. And we have that other waters in the grave, right? There has to be. We do have the Shiren in the hand, but we haven't milled any more tier caches. We are going to use the Shiren in the hand there to go up into that Kaleido Heart. So getting rid of one of the cards in the hand is not what we were looking for. When we've milled over 30 cards, And we have not hit any more waters other than that Havness and that's underneath ours and of the Merly as well. So we're going to be seeing them spin back to the block, the ping, and then we're going to be seeing that sent to the graveyard once again here. That's Havness. So we do now have another water in the graveyard, but we have to somehow get that shine to the graveyard, which is going to be very difficult for us to end up doing. But we're going to be seeing Pilgrim Reaper going to be gaining some attacker stuff, or I don't even know. I haven't read this card in so long, so. But we're going to go to attack there. That's going to be definitely enough damage. We're going to be attacking the Sarah, then we're going to attack the Pudica. And I don't think they take any. They can't be destroyed by Battle or something like that. But they still take a whole bunch of damage. I do want to correct myself if the damage on the field is wrong. We do go into an SP. SP will be able to banish. And I do take a second to read that Pudica there, but we're going to banish the field spell, making them not able to have that additional normal summon every single turn. And that's going to pass turn on this. Then I believe we're going to be seeing the sequence summon back out there, but I could be mistaken. But it's not looking too good for the Traptrix deck. Like, they are going to be on the back burner here. We do summon out that copy of Mermello by banishing another Holitea in the graveyard. And then we're going to see Mermello being able to pop. Now that we have the ability to chain Blackout Laughs to it if we want to, but we're going to see them pop the Field Spell, but it does not make that much of a difference because we are going to have that Kingstark in the hand. And now we're going to be seeing him City Effect and activates, allowing us now to get that effect to blow up that Mermello there. And then we're going to be summoning back out that sequence. We're going to then link away into a Sarah. And that was all during the draw phase or whatever, before that sequence got summoned. Because it doesn't have to summon out that monster. It has to be one banished monster, I believe. We do have still the Fiendsmith Trap in the graveyard there with a Black Goat Laughs. We're going to be normally with the Dianea here. That's going to be able to bring back out one, if I'm not mistaken. Which will then trigger Sarah. Sarah sets a trap from the deck. We all know how this goes, but you're going to see the Mantis going to be that target. They're going to chain SP targeting itself plus the Sarah, so Sarah will not be able to trigger summon, setting a trap from the deck. But that is pretty good, to be honest. You know, you don't want to get that Sarah effect to go off all the time. Like, they get the advantage off it. It's like crazy. Now, I don't exactly know where we are going for this. I feel like it most likely is like a Zeus line, but it feels so bad to go Zeus as well because I have so much follow-up kind of able to continue here. But we're going to go now for the Pingula once again. And they sell the Black Goat Laughs in the graveyard, so like even if they go battle phase, attack, and then go up into it, it's like we can still kind of do stuff. We're going to now see the Fiendsmith Trap going to activate, sending itself to the graveyard, or banishing itself, and we're going to send the Desiree to the graveyard here, and we're going to see the Desiree and activate effects, shuffling back into the deck to send, and they're just going to scoop it up there, realizing the game is going to be lost, and we're going to be seeing Tyr end up taking it there. Kind of a little bit of a grind game, or sending multiple cards from their deck to the graveyard. That grass was definitely greener for them when they started dumping all their stuff, but we're going to move on to game 2. Will we see potentially more traps from Traptrix? Not that many traps was in that kind of opening hand right there. Definitely not what we were looking for from a Traptrix hand. Now, Ash obviously was good, but having the last card, or I guess taking the last card, being a custom spell card, definitely is rough, especially when you already have used Ash Blossom. And like the Engraver just felt so good to use on the on that burn, you know, having the Gravedigger's Trap. Well, I feel like you're absolutely mandatory, have to do it. But I suppose there is a debate. Maybe like let them kind of get that effect, and you want to like ash one of their big cards. But at the same time, like ashing the field spell can be just turn ending at the same time. So I don't really feel like there was definitely the wrong to do that. You know, you have two stop effects essentially, and potentially a third with the ability of the Rafflesia there. But we're going to dive into game two with Traptrix going first once again. Looks like we see a couple bricks in the hand of the tier player. The Lacrima as well as the Crystal Beast Trap. We're going to see a Mantis being normal summoned now, activating the effect, allowing us to search for the Extendo Arachnocampa. Then we're going to go up into a Sarah. We're going to switch with the Arachnocampa. We're going to see Sarah effects can activate, letting us set our traps in the Holotea here. And so it looks like we have another monster or another trap to activate, which is going to be another Holotea. Holotea will then summon itself out, and then we're going to be seeing that summon with the Dianeta. Resetting that Holotea. Okay. I feel like we want to activate some other traps there, but you do you. We're then going to go up into our Rafflesia. Now we're just going to pass turn once again, only having one set trap, and this time not even the Gravediggers. We're going to see Fender going to activate here, and then we are going to be activating the Rafflesia immediately, saying, yeah, no way, we're booking that thing face down. Good night. Floodgate that, good night. We can't deal with that. Then we're going to be seeing the effect of Sarah, going to be placing that Gravedigger's trap hole. Now, this is my issue. I feel like we definitely needed that live turn 0. We're going to see Screen going to be activated now, and that's going to be changing the modulation of attacks and milling multiple cards if we get to chance to mill, which we definitely have to be. We're going to see the normal summon of Lacrima. That's going to be able to activate the effect of dumping from the deck, and we're going to let that go through, sending the Engraver now. Now we are going to DD Crow the Engraver immediately. That's an interesting call. You know, DD Crow is a decent card this format, but I don't know if I would just shotgun it here. We're going to see the Requiem going to be sending itself to the graveyard to summon out that Engraver from the deck. And now if we just link away, we have another Engraver in the grave to kind of continue off. Or we can just, shuffle back, make a princess, shuffle back, of course, summon itself out, and then we can have the bodies. But we won't have the bodies for Desiree, though, which is important. We can make that... we can make the, whatever it's called there, the Caesar. We are going to go now up into Holotea, summon itself out, which is going to trigger the Sarah, letting us summon out the Pudica, which is going to banish another Engraver here. And now both Engravers are banished. One of them will be able to come back out during the standby phase. But we're going to set one card on the tier player side and kind of just pass turn there. Now we're going to be seeing one of the Engravers summon itself back out off that. But it's going to be met with the Bottomless from that Rafflesia, and then we're going to be seeing another Gravediggers being set off that Sarah. So we are on multiple Gravediggers, and now it's going to be very hard for Tier to end up kind of continuing this. They're going to scoop it up right away, saying, yeah, I'm not able to play through Gravediggers continuously here. You're going to have way too much to be able to deal with me, and I'm just going to scoop it up right there and then. So it was a Crystal Beast trap that was set. They want to take a second to read it because that is a pretty good card. Being able to search for any field spell, then dumping a card as well, or being able to search for 2 is what? But we're going to be diving into Game 3, and Game 3 is getting very close to time, which is important. That when you are playing a deck like Tier, or playing as a deck like Traptrix, you are going to something approach time. These games do get grindy. When both decks are grindy and doing things like trading those interactions, you will get close to time, which makes definitely for a good game. I love games like this where you are able to play, and you don't feel like you're taking 1-for-1 blowout cards. You're kind of going for 1-for-1 for trades. You're trading 2 cards for 1 card, and then you meet your opponent with whatever. It's like that. That's just, I feel like it's definitely just nice. I do like the ability that we can just kind of smoke. We see some Rizal players absolutely just smoke 1x. With this 1 card trades with another good card, and you are playing that exchange game, which you don't really see a lot of time in Yu-Gi-Oh. I do wish that we had more interaction like this. Sometimes the Ash is going to be just deadly on the field spell. Other times it's not going to be deadly, and they'll still be able to use grass is greener. And it feels absolutely crazy. So we're going to see Tyr going to go first into Game 3 with an activation of a Tract, and this is going to be one of those good cards that you could potentially want to interact with. But we are going to let that resolve. We're going to see them search for most likely the Lurie, discarding the Lurie. But searching for Lacrima instead and discarding the trap card here of Salvation. That means there's no better normal summon for us. Then we can banish the Salvations, and that's what's also really cool about the tier deck, is that you can have the ability to just send these random cards. You have like cool cards like the track to let's do that there. Now we search for a field spell as well as the turtle off the tier 1, I should say, which is going to be a water monster, which is going to be pretty nice. You know, we can use it for that tier fusion. Now we do see the tier spell going to be negated, the field spell being negated with that Ash Blossom there. Then we're going to normal summon out the Lacrima, dumping the Engraver. Now we go up into a Requiem here, and then we're going to see Requiem effect going to summon out another copy of Engraver. Then we can equip, go up into our Princess. Then we're going to be seeing the Engraver put back, summon itself out. And then we can go up into our Pilgrim Reaper here because we want to mill more cards. Then we are going to be seeing them activate the effect, and we do mill a Holatea here, which is going to be absolutely huge for the Traptrix player. We do hit a Scream as well as a Mally, which is also important, and a Hollow, which you can just dump one more. Dumping the Trap once again, but we get to search for another Trap, and then we have the Shuffler back, which is going to be really nice paired with that the whatever Holatea. Be able to shuffle that back. Going to be pretty useful. We're going to go up into the Mally, summon out, and then we're going to link those two away for a... What are we going to go for here? A Moon. And then we are going to see another Mally being banished, and we're going to now go up into the Spring, springing up the Merly from the deck. Okay. And then we're going to see Merly going to activate the effect. Are we going to try to go for a window in this case? Now, we are close to time, and window is going to be very powerful. We do go for that window there, and that's going to be pretty nice. We're going to set 2 cards and just pass turn on this. Holatea will activate in the end phase, something with that Mantis. And then we are going to shuffle back with that Medora there, making sure that we just do not get that body, because then we will have just a normal summon and then a special summon. Now, we go battle phase, and we do go evenly matched. You know, being the crazy top deck, and then we are going to be just calling Sarah with that Blackout Laugh. It does get banished face down. Then we're going to go normal summon out for the Pudica here, or yeah, and that's going to let us search for the field spell, giving us an additional normal summon this turn, which is going to be pretty nice. Which is going to let us have that ability to go up into an XYZ, because we are super close to time here. We're going to see the Diana being normal summoned, and then we're going to be snapping down immediately the Gaga Cowboy. Now, on the summon, we're going to try to go for Lacrima into Requiem, dumping the Trap, and this is going to be on the second normal summon, but we actually cannot do that here because of the fact that we are under our own window. So did you try to explain this here? Now, I do realize that a lot of the plays are going on quickly, and I want to mention that this is not intentional cheating or at all. It's extremely close time. I think they're like 10 seconds of the time there, and that's like, what are you doing here? The Traptrix player never played against the Engraver cards or the Phoenix cards before, and like we just forgot the fact that the second summon of like the Lacrima was believable. So they're trying to explain it on the second normal summon. They're going to activate the effect of Lacrima, shuffling back, and then starting the main phase. And then it's like, okay, well, what are you doing here? But this is illegal because the second summon, which is the Lacrima summon, would never be able to happen. So take a second to read those cards, and like time does get called here, which is kind of important to note that like we are now into time. Now, the issue is that, like, we're like, oh, we're trying to win the game right now. So we aren't realizing some of these effects. And, like, what would it send? Like, sending a Desiree here. So we already see them just scoop it up. But truly, we are going to see Traptrix end up winning the match because they could have summoned out that copy of the burn card there, Gaga Cowboy, and take that game. So I'm going to reward them the game there because we did see the illegal play of that summon out the Lacrima. Regardless, hope you watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, more content like this. Don't forget to burn for Cowboy for game, and pay attention to your summons. Stay safe. Peace.